Hi everybody, Shawn back from the Sci-Fi Model Guy, and we're going to do a quick little 2-video series here called Starscream's Failure. And what this one is we're doing a diorama of Starscream from the Transformers and Megatron. Kind of a cool little backstory involved with that I'll talk about in the video. And it's the first time I've ever really done a diorama like this, everyone. So I think it came out pretty good. Hopefully you'll like it too. And just a quick disclaimer, during the video I do talk about lighting Megatron's arm gun as well as his eyes, but that did not work out. The wires for those lights are so small, and the kit here is very tightly put together, and it's kind of a small model kit, so it just didn't work out, unfortunately. But still, the diorama does come out really nice, and we're going to have a nice, good 8-minute, 9-minute reveal on the second video of this series that I'll post in a few days. But on this one, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of content in this one, and it's kind of cool. You see how I figured out a couple things on how to light these energon cubes. If you're familiar with Transformers, you know what they are. And if you're not familiar with Transformers, they're just basically cubes of energy that they use for their fuel. So, yeah, I'm going to stop the intro there, get going. And I do apologize. There's going to be some quick edits in this one where I just cut it for time-saving features. And I did kind of film this one jumping around a lot. So again, this is as a 2-part series. There's just going to be a lot of content kind of splashed throughout here. But hopefully you get a good idea of what we did here and enjoy the videos. And leave a like, a comment, and if you haven't yet subscribed to the videos but you're enjoying them, would really appreciate your subscription. It would really help out the channel. Thanks again for your attention, everyone, and happy modeling. Okay, everybody, here we are, the little bit of unboxing to show you the Megatron and Starscream model kits that we're going to be using for this diorama. Quick little build. Should be a couple videos in this series, so let's get to it. We're just going to unbox these and just show you what we're working with. So these I've actually already pre-painted and primed and painted these guys here. I did with the Tamiya spray paints, and there is a section coming up of that shortly after this one that I've already recorded where we talk about that. So it's a number of sprues here. It's quite a bit of pieces for this kit, but the good thing is these are all snapped together. The way they go together. We are going to be gluing them because this, again, it's going to be a diorama. And these figures come where they're articulated. You can really pose them in some really incredible ways with some great options of different hand sizes. Like here, there's some, put the light on, there's hands open, there's hands closed. A lot of different options here that they give you, and it's really good. Excuse me. So yeah, I've already pre-painted all these. So this kit here, Megatron here, is ready to go. What we are going to be doing a little bit different, though, I'm going to be attempting to do some lighting in his fusion cannon. I think that's what they refer to it in the show, or maybe it's graviton gun. I think it goes by a couple different names. But anyway, we're going to put a nice light in here, a nice purple light. I do have some purple LEDs I'm going to stuff in there and wire it down through the model. And then for the inside, I was thinking maybe putting some cotton in there or something to kind of diffuse the glow. We'll see. We'll come to that part. But yeah, that's going to be neat. And if I possibly can, I'm going to try to light his eyes, which are very, very small. Here, just to show you, I forget which piece of these is his head, but you can see here, I mean, these are the eyes. So his head is very small. Actually, I have let me grab my other kit. I'm going to drop the piece off. His arm is falling off. I got to fix it, but here's his head. This is kind of what Megatron looks like. So we're going to be figuring out a way to run a wire through here, maybe down the back, and just kind of tuck it in and hide it, because I want this to be glowing and I want his eyes to be red. So if I could possibly do that, I'm going to give it a try. Like I said, it's going to be a stationary diorama, so he's going to be in one pose, and I'll be able to glue the joints together to lock it down. Pardon me, I still got a little frog in my throat from my cold that is lingering. So, yeah, that's that. And then we'll talk in a minute here about the diorama, which I've actually already painted and cut and everything, but we'll talk about that. I'm just putting these back gently so I don't zoom. And just by the way, if you're going to build this kit at home, they do come pre-colored, which it's on the spray paint video, but you can see I did change the color a little bit here. So like the lighter gray of this model kit, I did a lighter version of the gray. I want it kind of be more of like the cartoon was, and Megatron was a little almost a white color. So was Starscream. So the diorama here, while I put this, let's do that off camera somewhere else. The diorama is going to be the Decepticon base, and Megatron is really upset at Starscream, as per usual. And there's a nice instruction kit. You can actually pose the model like this, so it's really great. And here's just an example. Let me just show you this real quick, and then I'll get back to the diorama story kind of thing that I've come up with. So, like I said, you don't have to paint these models, but I do. So this is a metallic red, Tamiya metallic red, and pardon me here, the neighbors are outside having a good time. This is a metallic red from Tamiya. It's a wonderful, reflective, kind of almost pearlescent look to this, and I really like this color. Now, this is the red that it came at. Well, Megatron was a little darker. But it was kind of this consistency. So what I'm trying to say is you can build these kits just fine without painting them. I prefer to, just because I can get the colors exactly what I want, and then also it's a lot easier to weather them if you so desire. So I'll put this thing back in Megatron's area, and these are just the sprues for Starscream. And we'll go ahead and I'll be priming those as well and painting them. I did record a little bit for Megatron's. I won't be recording the spray painting for Starscream. So anyway, back to the diorama. It's going to be set in the Decepticon base, and Starscream is in trouble. The Autobots have attacked and messed up their base a little bit, and so there's some scarring I'm going to be doing to it. So I'll get to that in a minute. Move good Starscream out of the way, and I just want to talk a little bit about the build. This is the first time I'm doing what they call scratch building with this polystyrene material. You can pick this up at Hobby Lobbies, where I got this, or you can get it at any hobby store. You can get sheets of it with various thickness and elasticity, bending. So a lot of options there, and then there's all kinds of cool things you can get, which are like rods. This is like square rods here. There's some more there, and some more rounded, smaller versions. All kinds of different options. And again, Hobby Lobby does have them. And I only keep saying Hobby Lobby because I have one close by, and the nearest Hobby Town, which I prefer to go to, is about an hour or so away from me. So, these packages here, oh, here it is. I had cut it off. They indicate what they are. So if you're going to look in it, so this is square tube, and there's a little picture of what it looks like. So you can get all kinds of neat things, and if you check out Adam Savage's website, YouTube channel, he's got a great little video on how he got his start building models, science fiction models and spaceships and all kinds of things. And it's amazing what you can do with a few sheets of polystyrene, some little pieces like this, and of course the tool. I just want to show you the tool here for this. It's a cutter for plastic, sheet, and other material. It's maybe $8-10, and it's just a scoring tool. You can see there, you just put it, this is the cutting edge, and you put a straight edge down where you want to cut, and you just score it. And the cool thing about the polystyrene is you only need to score down a few times. Okay, folks, sorry about that. I had tried to do a little improv there, and it didn't work out too well. But anyway, yeah, polystyrene, various thicknesses. You get as one of these cutting tools here. I think, you know, again, they sell them at Hobby Lobby. You can get them at Lowe's. They cut plexiglass and all kinds of stuff. So, and that's it. And I'm going to do a little pause here, and I'll go get the diorama and show you what she's looking like now. Okay, here we are. And this is the diorama, guys. Again, first time I've ever done a scratch build. So I don't know how well the camera's picking it up, but I did go ahead and I cut, you know, got the styrene here, and I just, these little lines here to make the different panel lines, and I'll throw up a picture of the Decepticon base from the cartoon right now. So there you can see there's various panel lines and, you know, just science fiction kind of high-tech stuff the way they would do in cartoons. So I kind of duplicated that here with this purple color and these just lines. And all this was just scoring that I did with a straight edge and just didn't go all the way through. And here's a grid type of polystyrene sheet that I had picked up, and here's one here, and then those little pieces of pipes I just kind of threw down the rod here, and you know, just kind of randomly did it. And so I primed this up. I painted it purple with this purple, just Rust-Oleum gloss purple that I picked up at Walmart. Excuse me. And then hit it with a top coat of a gloss, very high gloss. And then after that, I took the old Dremel tool and some grinder, various different sizes of these grinder bits. This is the one I used for this one. You can see from the purple paint. And I just started boring out damage. Just kind of went randomly, scribbled around, just let it kind of flow on its own. And then after that, I took some of this model color, which is oily steel. It's kind of the silvery looking stuff. And then some black there. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to get a little bit more black paint and silver and just touch up some of these areas. But anyway, these are just score marks from battle, you know, like the thing. So, and this is the top here. This is a doorway, and I actually bore a hole right through there. So it's a big blast and some various blasts there. They cut up in these pipes or whatever they are. And so this is going to be going like this, upright. And then these are just pieces here to fill out the width like that. So it's kind of, here, I'll tilt it down so you can see. So that's kind of be the thing. So Starscream's going to be here, and he's going to be on his knees, holding his hand on the floor with another hand up, like begging Megatron not to finish him. I'm gonna break one of his wings in half and make it just like Megatron shot it off, and it's gonna be laying here. It's gonna be really cool. And then the other thing here, let me go grab them. Again, I didn't plan this video out too much. I'm just trying to go quickly. I made these nice, cool Energon cubes, and I did these with a silicone ice cube tray mold and some of the you know, part A and part B resin that you can buy, again, Hobby Lobby. And then when the cubes were done, spray painted them with a white, and then I just did them with pink on top. And inside is the light. So I do have a video on that. I hope I saved it, where I explain how I got these lights to be actually inside this resin. It was kind of cool how I figured that out. So that little thing here, they're going to be piled up along here, just kind of laying around like there. And the story of the diorama is that the Autobots, that Megatron left Starscream in charge of their home base while he went to wreak havoc somewhere on Earth, and the Autobots in need of energy came to steal some of the Decepticons' Energon. Kind of a cool story. I actually started writing a little backstory on it just to give it a theme of what I was doing, which I think it might be a good idea if you're going to build a diorama. Think of a story that you're trying to tell with it, unless you just, you know, a jet with let's say you have a jet with a little fuel tank and stuff like that. But this is actually telling a story. So I just kind of had to come up with something in my head to explain it. And that really actually helped me design this thing in my head. So Starscream's going to be here. Obviously, there's a lot of damage. Maybe he was really shot up real bad. Megatron's going to be standing here with his fusion, with aiming his arm gun at Starscream, having blown off one of his wings, and just because Megatron is furious, and he's going to teach Starscream a lesson and have him beg for mercy as he usually does. But this one I wanted a little bit darker, a little more serious, an adult theme, set up for like 12-year-old kids. But this is just a little grown-up version of this thing. So that's it. And I didn't record any of this stuff, but as you can see, this all from polystyrene that I got. I've never done this before. I'm pretty happy with the results. Maybe this part I could have done a little better, but Starscream's going to be there anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Ed, you tell me what you think. Again, I didn't look at any videos on dioramas or stuff. I just kind of winged it on this, and I think it looks okay. And this is going to be a gift for a friend, and hopefully he likes it. And yeah, it would be really neat if I can get those lights on Megatron's eyes to light up. That would be really cool. But I'll be starting to do that, and I'm also building a little wooden pine frame for this to go on, to where the underneath the wires and the switch. That's going to be a light switch on here, somewhere on the frame, to hide that wiring and stuff, and then just give the diorama kind of a nice solid base to stand on. And I will make sure to take some pictures of that. I don't think I'll do a video of the display base. It's just going to be a basic box with some 2.5 inch by 1/2 inch pine. Very simple box just to lay this on. And then one more note is that, so this styrene here, this is cut from a few different types of pieces. And what I did, I just bought a foam board. Again, Hobby Lobby is a couple bucks, and it's a thick cardboard. And I just glued this polystyrene onto there, and that gives it a little bit of a base and give me something to work with. And this will lay in the pine display that I'll, of course, stain and varnish really nice. And that's that. So, okay, guys, I will I don't know if I'm going to film building Megatron. I'll film definitely the parts where I'm figuring out the wiring of his cannon, and if I could figure out the wiring of his eyes and stuff, I'll definitely film that. Other than that, though, I don't think I'm going to film just me snapping pieces together. These things go together almost like Legos. Just snap, and again, you don't need to glue. But we'll get there when we get there. And so this is just kind of the intro and showing you where I've gotten so far. Again, this is a limited series. I'm not going to film too much on here. Just more kind of explaining how I'm doing some stuff instead of just showing it. This is pretty basic. I do hope I saved the video on this, because I was pretty proud of how I got these lights in there. And actually, why don't we just fire one up just for the heck of it? So we'll get one over here. I did test them. I may have to do a little bit of touch up. Excuse me here while I may have to do a little touch up on these guys to get where this paint may have missed. Sorry about that. That thing was being pretty stubborn. Okay, so we've got these wires are so thin, they're like hair. Like thick hair, but they're very hard to see. Okay, so I'm going to flip this on. So there's here, turn off this light, and you can see the energon cubes glowing. So you can see here these little white spots there that I missed. So I'm going to have to go over that with with the spray paint, another coat or so. But it's really strange how it doesn't get in there. But yeah, no biggie, but it's kind of a cool effect. So these will all be glowing like in the cartoon. So add a little bit of animation to the diorama, and it'll be pretty neat. But yeah, it's a simple solution that I thought of for that, and I'm happy with the results. Okay, everybody, that's it for this segment. The next segment, I don't know what it's going to be. Probably I'll be getting the Megatron and putting him together. So hopefully this won't take me too long. The hard part's done, figuring out the diorama and the how I was going to battle scar this stuff. Probably could have done a much better job, but you know, this is a learning channel, I guess. So we saw me learning. All right, folks. Talk to you soon. Hey, everyone. Okay. Just going to do a little quick aside here, and I'm just going to record what I'm doing to make these Energon cubes. And what I've done a little bit of work ahead of time, so I'll just explain what I've done here so far. I have a kitchen scale here that is zeroed out right now. I've got this little red cup up here, and I turned it on with the cup on it, so it's 0 right now. And what I did before was I measured, I'm going to make 6 Energon cubes. So I put water in 3 of these cubes, poured it in here, and I measured approximately where that water level rose to. Okay. So I put a line there. Now, why did I put a line there with 3? I want to make 6. Now with this casting resin, you need equal parts of both of these things, the A and the B. So I want to be accurate. I don't want to waste any of this stuff. So I'm going to be doing this by weight. Now, since I did determine the volume on the cup of what 3 ice cubes are, I know that whatever that weighs, if I fill, you know, the first item here, A, into that first level that I marked, which is 3 ice cubes, and take the weight of that, and I continue to pour the B compound into that until the weight doubles, then I know I have exactly the amount to make 6 Energon cubes. So let's go over that again. You need equal parts A and B to make this resin. So if I want to make 6 cubes, I need basically 3 cubes worth of A and 3 cubes worth of B. So I measured by volume how much 3 cubes it is, and I put a little mark in there, a little level line. So what I'm going to do, I'll just start with A. And I have this little kitchen scale here. If you don't have a kitchen scale, that's fine. What you would want to do then is fill up 6. Fill up 3, mark 3, and then fill up 6 and mark the 6 and try to find that second line. I'm going to go by weight because I know that if I go over a little bit, which I'm going to do, excuse me, I coughed there and I muted it. I'm going to go over a little bit. So as long as I'm close to that halfway line or a little bit over that halfway line, I will get the weight. And thankfully I do have this is just a little kitchen scale. I know I can get the exact amount of the B in there, and that way I won't make too much. So, and anyway, these are just little silicone ice cube trays, and I do have some silicone treatment spray. I think I put it up here. And this, I don't think this is 100% necessary, but I bought it. It's a mold release conditioner, and you just spray it in here ahead of time and let it dry, and it supposedly is going to let the resin release. So, okay, we've got there. So I've got my A. I'm going to pour. And this stuff isn't super cheap, folks, so that's why I want to make sure that I don't make too much. But I want to have enough to make 6 Energon cubes. And a little bit more. And again, I'm eyeballing to that little, I just made a little hash mark with my Sharpie in there. Okay, so that's reading at 1.8 ounces. I'm going to go just a tad more. That's good. 1.9 ounce. So 1.9 times 2 is 3.8. So I'm going to pour the B side into here as I search around for some popsicle sticks that I know I have. It's okay. I'll find them. I'll pause the video and find them. So I'm going to pour. Whoa, this comes out a little bit faster. So 3.8. Let's go slower. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3.8. Good. Okay, so that is 1.9 ounces of each of these. Okay, I'm just going to pause the video. I'm going to find my stirring sticks, and I'll be right back. All right, folks, I'm back. They were right in front of me. They're just a little box of craft sticks and just popsicle sticks that I use to stir various things that are disposable. I think I got this at Walmart for like $2. Okay, so I got a little popsicle stick, and I guess I can turn off the scale here, put that away, and then make sure I return it to the kitchen. I'm going to give this a good stir. Okay. Let me take a look at it. It looks pretty mixed up. All right. Just going to let that sit. This stuff takes a day or so to dry, so you have plenty of time to work with this stuff. Okay, so now when I measure the water, I use this side of it. So I'm going to use, this side is wet. So I'm going to use this side to pour this into. Now, before I do that, though, these are energon cubes, and what do energon cubes do? They glow with energy. So I had ordered these, and they came in today. I was very happy. I've got pulsating 0805 SMDs here. SMD LEDs with pre-resistor, and I'm going to give these a shot and see how it works. And what I'm going to do is pour the resin in here. I'm going to actually leave these. I'm going to go with the white here. I'm going to leave the warm white. So I've got two packs of pulsating white. This is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to need 6 of these. So the trick is going to be pouring this resin in there and holding the light in the middle of the cube to the best of my ability. And then filling it up. So that way when it hardens, these lights will be embedded into these energon cubes, and then I can wire them up and they'll be glowing from within. And that way, hopefully, if this works out, will keep me from having to drill a hole in these things. I'm like, why drill a hole when I can just put these lights nice and snug in their home? So there's one. There's 5 of these guys, so maybe I should have taken these apart before, but if you haven't seen them taken out of their little holder here, maybe this made it on camera here and you can see it. So there's 5. I need 1 more, and I got the warm white, or the pulsating white. I got these warm pulsating whites in addition. It's a different package, but I got the warm ones for some Star Trek ships, and then if I want to make the nacelles like the Enterprise D or E, Enterprise C, and have the nacelles kind of glowing and kind of swirling around like they do in the show, I'm going to use one of these. So what I did, I just kind of unraveled those things. And then I'm going to take one out of here. Now this is the positive side, so it's all a big mess in there. So I just kind of want to wiggle it around and follow this up to where I find where that light is. So I found it there. This is the one. And then I'm going to pull it from this side. real gently and kind of give it a wiggle. And there it is, I freed it. So I know it's kind of silly, but it's kind of important if you want to avoid a big bird's nest, which I've done, and I've had to untangle it, and it took me a lot of time. Pardon my voice too, everybody. I've been working both jobs today, and I've done a lot of talking, and I'm still kind of recovering from illness, maybe even bronchitis or something. So I'm trying. So I'm coughing a little bit still, and when I do, I am trying to hit the mute button or knock out the audio. So here it is. And speaking of coughing, I'm going to do that now. Okay, excuse me. I got to get a sip of water. Okay, here we go. So this is the first time for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just hold. I'm going to start from the back and work my way up. So I'm not pouring over any previous stuff that I've done. So I'm going to hold it in the middle, as closely to the middle as I can, both this way and then vertically here. So I don't want it touching the surface. I want it kind of even more toward the top here. Let me get rid of this. Let me give it one more stir. Get my towel here. Stuff will get everywhere, so take your time. Don't be in a rush to use this stuff. Like I said, it has a very long cure time. So I don't know if I had said it in this one or another take that I tried to do, but this here is just a regular silicone ice cube tray. I got it at Hobby Lobby in their resin section, in the A and B parts as well. Okay, so I'm holding it. I'm going to hold it upright, and hopefully this stuff will hold it upright well enough to where I don't need to use tape or secure it. But it's probably going to lay down into this stuff. And that's something we'll just have to deal with. Okay. Sorry about that. Should have gotten this one ready. My apologies. Oh, I'm swimming around in here. Okay. So I've got this here. I think I am probably going to have to tape it. Let's see what happens if I let it. Yeah, it's just kind of sinking on its own. Okay. So we don't want it to sink. I don't think we're going to be able to prevent it from leaning off to the side there. So that's okay. When I orient these things, I'll paint them and hide them, hopefully. Well, I definitely can't just sit here like this for 18 hours. So what can I do? Why don't I try? Here's an idea. Let's get out our helping hands. I think this is going to work. Aha. There we go. Now we're cooking. So that works. The only thing is, I don't have a ton of these. So what am I going to do? Let's see. Well, this one, I'll definitely need to use the other one here. Boom, right in the middle. There we go. And as I get this other one here, I think what I'm going to do is prop up a few of my alligator clips on the bamboo that you've hopefully seen a couple of times. And I'll do that off camera. I'll figure out all this stuff and we'll come back and show you the solution I come up with. I'll come up with something. But until then, let's get this other one poured. And that's about right. Maybe the weight of this will keep it in there. And I poured it all over my finger. Went a little bit over there. Look at that. Cast resin hand. All right, that'll wash off. All right. So that's, is it behaving? No, it's drifting this way. Let me raise it a little bit. Okay. I'm going to leave that alone. That looks fine. So the helping hands definitely did help. So what we're going to have to do here is I'm going to have to figure out a way to do the rest of these four. So I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to figure out a couple things and we'll come back and I'll just, I'll show what I did. And we'll see what kind of solutions we can come up with. Be right back. All right, folks, I figured it out in actually about 30 seconds. So I just gonna grab these out. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to rig up the last one here just to demonstrate what I did. So I got the trusty alligator clips on bamboo, and I'm clipping the light so that there's about a half an inch or so, maybe a little less. And then, so once I got that, then I'm going to take the rest of this wire and just wrap it around here so it's not dangling, it's not, you know, get it out of the way a little bit. And then all I do is just, so I'm actually need a little bit more slack here. Lean it on here. Well, that was too much. It's either too much or not enough. There we go. Okay, so that's hanging in there. So these are all hanging about halfway down and right in the middle, about where I want them. And now all I'm going to do is just take the rest of this resin here that I had mixed up and carefully pour so as not to get any resin on the alligator clips. Taking it nice and slow. Hopefully y'all can see it. Okay, get it to where it's almost filled. Good. Here we are, we're pouring the last one. Yeah, I can pour a little bit more here. Not much. And this one as well. Okay. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. All right, so I'm going to let this sit here at the workbench overnight and into tomorrow. I don't have any plans to immediately in the morning to use the workbench, so it'll be nice and steady here, and I'll come back in the morning and we'll go ahead and test these things and then paint them. I'm gonna have to manufacture a nice pink color. I want these to kind of be that pinkish purple like the Energon cubes were in the store, in the show, sorry, rather. And that'll be a nice addition to our diorama here. So hopefully this was a little instructional for you, and you got to see me learning in real time. And I probably could have just gone ahead and done this for these other two, but one little discovery leads to another. So this worked. So if you ever want to light up or put some lights in the middle of a cube, a resin cube, this is a good method. Hopefully, we'll know when we light it up and fire it up and see. All right, folks, off to the next segment. Thanks for sticking around. Okay, folks, here we are, and we're going to be painting the pieces here for Megatron. And you may notice here I have all the sprues here lined up upside down, and that's just so I know what colors to do, because I had gone ahead and primed the other sides of these pieces in just the basic Tamiya white surface primer, which is right here. And since these are such small pieces, all I really did have a chance to do was just kind of rinse these off. I didn't have the chance to kind of go through and scuff these things like I normally do to prep them. But these are excuse me, good solid pieces, and I have made these kits before without washing them. So what I do is I'm just going to do all the painting and the priming on the sprues. That's going to save me quite a bit of time, and if there's any touch-up needed once the model's put together, I can definitely kind of squirt a little bit of the spray paint onto a medium, like a cup or a palette or something, and hand paint it on. I've done it a couple times. This does work for these kits. They're very small, very intricate, so you don't need to do a heck of a lot. Plus, the fact that we're doing this in a diorama, it's going to all come together really nicely, I think. And so here we are. Now I've got everything's primed. Now there are a couple spots here you might notice that I did miss some priming. For instance, like right here, there's a little bit of priming missing. I'm not worrying too much about it. Again, this is a very nice plastic. It's a lot of intricate little pieces, so I'm not trying not to overpaint these things. They do come pre-colored. Like, you could literally put these kits together without painting a thing. I just kind of like the look of the paint that I'm going to be choosing, especially when we get to it, you'll see. So that being said, if you do have these kits, go ahead, and if you don't have the paint, it's fine. These Transformers kits look fine. I did put together my Bumblebee without painting him at all. I wasn't 100% happy with the results. Just to be honest, I prefer painting them. You get a little bit more of a natural look, and you can weather them a little bit and so on. So with that all out of the way, these are all the sprues that we're going to be painting. There's one or two that we have, excuse me, for the silence there. I'm still coughing a little bit, so I'm muting it. If you hear a little dead silence, it's because I'm coughing. Yeah, so I did a very, very light prime, one coat. Didn't do too much. So we're going to go ahead and paint now. I'm going to talk a little bit about the colors here. Here they are. I picked all Tamiya. Again, I'm a Tamiya, preference Tamiya. Vallejo's fine. Anyway, testers are good. I just prefer Tamiya. So what we're going to be doing here is black, metallic red. This is insignia white, and this is called haze gray. So TS32, if you're following along, TS32, haze gray, insignia white, U.S. Navy, which is AS20, TS18 metallic red, and a TS6, which is a matte black. So just to point out, the light gray that I chose is for this color. Now you're going to see a difference here. I did choose a whiter color, lighter gray than what this is, for two reasons. One, this white, this insignia white is more close to what Megatron was in the cartoon, and this gray is what this model is. This is more of like a metallic looking gray. So also I have a couple of these on hand that I want to use. And again, this is almost exactly what the cartoon is. And then I picked a nice complementary gray to go with it. There's a few darker pieces, so I thought these two go together well. The red, the color that came with the kit is more of like a maroon. You can see here there is a difference there, but that is okay. I have used this metallic red, and it does darken, especially when you gloss it. When you put the matte, not gloss, but the matte finish on there, it will darken a tone or two and be closer to this, which is what my Starscream is. So if you are planning on painting that, go ahead and go with the metallic red. Excuse me. Go with metallic red, and when you put the matte finish on there, it will darken very close to what you see here. It'll have that nice kind of robotic metallic sheen to it, and that's always a good result. And the matte black obviously is for the black finish. And there we go. So I'm not going to video the painting. It's basically, I've got my glove on here. I'm going to be holding the sprues up and painting them away from all this stuff and just getting a nice coat or two, and might come back in the morning and top them off. And that's it. It's a very simple paint job. Okay. That's it for this segment, folks. Got a lot of painting to do, as you can see, and we will be back in the next segment. See you soon. Hey folks, how are you? So we're in the middle of the build here on Megatron, and you can see here I've got all the sprues laid out in front of me. I've got my nippers. Got the nippers and the instruction manual here. So I just want to show you real quick, if you haven't seen this. So here's the instruction manual. It's very manual, very intricate, very detailed. And there's this other side as well for Megatron. And I think I have, about an hour and a half into this. This is one of those models that you have to kind of get into a groove and just start building. However, I've been slowed down by the fact that I'm trying to wire this fusion gun on Megatron's arm, so I've gone real slow to see where I need to stop and drill a little bit into the kit. So just as a kind of a update where I'm at, these are both Megatron's like shoulder pieces here. I built both of them. These are a couple other little pieces. I think there's there's like 5 pieces in each of these. They're very intricate. As you can see, that there's a lot of tiny little pieces that click together. And this is the arm unit, which is mostly completed. And you can see here, it's really cool. You can bend it either way. The hand can rotate this way, and this little piece here so the arm can go, like it's punching or something. So a lot of articulation in this kit, really well designed, and I'm really happy with the color scheme I chose. This piece of the arm shows actually all 3 colors. There's the nice black from his clenched fist, the forearm, the metallic red, and then this dark haze gray. So I've noticed a couple little tiny imperfections on the paint, but that's okay. Once it's all together, it's going to look really, really sharp. And again, the imperfections are very minor. Like this here, I think I can mask, and I'll just hit it with a quick spray. Little things like that. Anyway, so all this work here is just kind of this area of the instruction sheet here, and there's a lot of work involved. So if you're going to do this kit, you want to make sure and give yourself some time. So before I get into the fusion cannon here, it's going to be a short segment. Before I get into that, I want to talk one thing about the sprues. So now, if you recall, I did prime and paint all of the sprues. What I neglected to let you know is there are 3 sprues here It's a G2, G1, and another G1. So the G sprues. And these are very rubbery. If you see here, they're flexible. They feel different than this. Like when they click them together, it's a rubbery sound. And when you click these together, it's a plastic sound. And these guys, from building a few of these kits, are completely internal. They are these kind of pieces, the rotating pieces that are supposed to be a little bit flexible, so they're squishy. You do not need to prime these. If you do prime them, the paint will just fleck off. I've done it before. This is rubber, so they are not intended to be painted. So don't even try. It will look horrible. I mean, you probably wouldn't even see them anyway in the model, but if you did, you wouldn't be happy with the result. So I can just attest to that, and I do apologize for not mentioning that. So there's not a whole lot of them. They just go where like the arms connect and the shoulders and stuff. Okay, folks, I just want to do a little segment here on the display for the diorama, the box that I'm going to be putting it on. This is in progress. So I've made the box just out of simple, I think it's a 1x2 project wood, and let me see if I can zoom in. 1x2, yeah. So it's 1x2 project wood, and I just measured this into the shape of the diorama that I cut. Alternatively, you can buy kind of boxes like this at not Home Depot, like Hobby Lobby, other places, and then cut your styrene to fit that. So I just did it the other way around, where I had the styrene, built that, and then I made the display stand to go around it. So it's just simple cuts, just glued here together, nothing fancy. I'll be sanding this down to a nice smooth finish, and then staining the wood to a nice, like a walnut color or something, and then putting like a polyurethane on there for a nice shiny effect. Going to be obviously cutting the bottom here just out of some real thin plywood or something similar, and I'll be putting what little electronics need to go into there. Now, if you see here, these clamps here, these are just they're basically little shelves that are going to hold these guys here. So, sorry. And the glue's drying. So basically I cut these to length to fit in here like that. It's falling because I don't have room. But these will rest on the other side. I'm sorry, they're going to rest right here on top. I just cut two of these. So one this way and one here, and that's just where the diorama is going to rest on. And one of them is all the way in the back, touching the corner there, and that's so that the wall, the back wall, will have something to rest on, and I can glue it with super glue or screw it in or figure out some way to secure that. So I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And there. So anyway, yeah, I just want to do a little bit of a video on how this diorama box is coming along. It'll look nice. There's some rough edges here, of course, and you know, I didn't do a nice 45-degree angle cut. You know, I just want to get this thing done. It'll still look nice. It's not going to be the best woodworking project I've ever done, but I think it'll still look good. And I did all this just on a regular old miter saw, which is to the left of me outside. And that's it. Okay, so this segment over, and then we'll be back with whatever I decide to put on next. See you soon, folks.